I heard Asia Wilson, Sha'Carri, Sabrina, Sabalenka. Oh, that's right. I didn't hear Caitlin Clark's name. That's why we don't jump for joy when Nike does one good thing. Oh, one good thing. Nike's Nike at the end of it. There's a reason why their stock has been crashing.
The internet is on fire. So let's break down this epic marketing failure because Nike just fumbled again and Caitlin Clark fans are not having it. Imagine being one of the biggest sports brands in the world and still finding a way to disrespect one of the hottest basketball stars twice in their latest ad. Fans are berating them like a burnt sneaker. Did they forget Caitlin existed?
And now with Nike, they're listing out the names of this. And of course, who do they ignore? The number 22 out of Indiana.
Nike truly succeeded once more. No, they really did it again. They released a brand new WNBA commercial immediately following the Super Bowl prime time, which was a great occasion and a chance. However, they somehow managed to omit Caitlin Clark, who is currently the most well-known figure in women's basketball.
But now Nike put out how they really feel about Miss Clark. Let's take a look.
You want to know what I'm selling? I'm selling greatness. Asia Wilson, 3-time MVP. We got Jordan Childs, we got Juju Watkins, we got Sha'Carri Richardson.
Okay.
And we got Arena Sabalenka.
Champion.
Hustling is not easy, but I love it. Sabrina, I know you want a tea.
Let's now discuss who made the cut. Ionescu, Sabrina, okay, Oklahoma, she's solid, Juga Watkins, I mean, she has potential, and we knew they were going to include Asia Wilson. At this point, she's essentially Nike's golden child, but Caitlin Clark is nowhere to be found. Let's just look at the facts. It's ridiculous. The main reason why people are even discussing women's basketball at this level is Caitlin Clark, who is shattering records and drawing NBA-level viewership, yet Nike apparently forgot.
Something that stood out among the Caitlin Clark fan base is them not mentioning Caitlin Clark's name at all in this whole damn ad. Now, one person said, why wasn't Caitlin Clark's name said? Another person said, they don't say Caitlin Clark's name in this ad.
And listen, this isn't the first time Nike has mistreated Caitlin Clark. They continue to treat her like just another player on the team, treating her like a talented guard when, in fact, she plays women's basketball at the moment. Meanwhile, Juju Watkins, a fantastic young player, is out here receiving significant Nike promotion despite the fact that she is still in her early career and hasn't had the same kind of historic impact as Caitlin Clark, and let's not even talk about Asia Wilson. Nike continues to promote Asia as though she were the WNBA's face, claiming that although she is a fantastic player, she isn't making as much of an impact as Caitlin Clark.
They promoted her more in college than they have at all the entirety of the WNBA season. She signed an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that also included her own signature shoe, which honestly, looking at it now, $28 million for 8 years is an absolute steal for this superstar.
When was the last time an Aces Road game had that much anticipation? The Fever's games are selling out in every location, and fans are physically camped up outside arenas to watch Caitlin Clark. Nike really believed that they could get away with this one because they assumed that we wouldn't notice. They reasoned that, oh, we'll just throw in a few names, slap some highlights together, and call it a day and nobody will care. No, we do care. This is similar to releasing an NBA advertisement without Michael Jordan or an NFL promo that inadvertently omits Patrick Mahomes. When little girls start picking up basketballs, mature men purchase her jerseys, and entire networks go out of their way to air her games during prime time, Caitlin Clark is more than just another athlete.
How dare you put out a commercial with Caitlin Clark's merchandise saying everyone's name but Caitlin Clark? My dad could watch that commercial 75 times. He will only know Sabalenka's name. My wife will watch that commercial 75 times and she'll say, they're really going to show Caitlin Clark's shirt and not mention her name? Oh, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
It's okay. Just say that Nike, one of the biggest sports brands in the world, decided that she wasn't worthy of being featured in their new campaign because it doesn't make sense at this point. We're strangely obsessed with making sure Caitlin Clark doesn't get too much shine in our campaigns because we prefer to push our hand-picked stars instead. But guess what? If Nike doesn't want to embrace Caitlin Clark, that's okay. Someone else will. And when her jersey sales soar, her WNBA records are broken, and she's the biggest name in basketball ever. Just know Nike had the chance to get it right, and they made a mistake again.
So Nike has decided to release a congratulations to Caitlin Clark for Rookie of the Year shirt in what I think could be possibly the worst designed t-shirt in Nike corporate history. No, but look at this. I've worked with designers before. Like, this is bad. It looks like they had some intern just like quickly mock something up in like PixArt. But really, they put the Nike swoosh in the middle of the O sort of thing, like overlapping some.
I'm not sure if Nike executives live in a bubble or if they just like making bad business choices for fun. But do they sell out every arena they enter? Do their TV ratings soar like Caitlin Clark's? Have they made people who had never watched the WNBA in their lives suddenly care? If not, why is Nike out here behaving like Caitlin Clark as a random bench player at this point? I'm convinced Nike is allergic to good marketing. Caitlin Clark's shirts sold out right away, her performances were packed, and her influence was historic. Let's face it, though, Nike should encourage players who don't even make a difference like she does. While they're offering endorsement deals to athletes that couldn't fill a high school arena, Nike has been acting shadily toward Caitlin Clark for some time. Now, they're acting as though the most marketable player in women's basketball doesn't exist. Nike's marketing team truly needs to go back to school because they could have been making money off of Caitlin Clark merchandise, but instead they would push players without anybody looking for a brilliant plan.
Talked ticket sales and we've talked viewership. Now let's talk about regular season viewership, not draft viewership. Regular season viewership, it grew by 20% in 2023. It's grown by 180% now, which means it would take another 5 or 6 years to do what Caitlin Clark has done. So between draft day viewership, which is up 400% to 40%, between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%, between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%.
If Nike had owned the NBA in the past, instead of LeBron James, let's concentrate entirely on the player who averages 6 points per game. The reason why Caitlin hasn't signed with Nike is because, well, why would she sign with a company that is acting as though she doesn't exist? It would be like attending a party where the host is acting as though you're not invited. The most absurd thing is that Nike is acting as though they're doing some big social justice thing by pushing other players, but in reality, they're just being petty. That's why Under Armour and Adidas are sitting back and watching Nike fumble the bag like, go ahead, keep playing. Nike is upset that Caitlin Clark doesn't require their assistance. She doesn't require their manufactured publicity, their phony activism, and she most definitely doesn't need to plead with them for attention.
And as far as the shoe deal goes, there doesn't seem to be one in sight just yet. And timing is everything. Like, who knows what's going to happen with the new rookie class coming in. Paige Beckers, Kiki Ariaffin. This was the year to do.
Now, do Nike really thought they had us fooled with that Super Bowl ad like we were going to sit there all-eyed and be like, oh wow, look at Nike supporting the WNBA, how nice. No, we saw that ad, we hit pause, rewinded, squinted at the screen, and said, hold up, where's Caitlin Clark? And yes, she was in there for about 3.5 seconds, maybe 4, if you count the frame where she blinked. Nike out here acting like we wouldn't notice that the biggest name in women's basketball barely got a feature. Meanwhile, they're rolling out the red carpet for the other players like, be serious, Caitlin Clark could sneeze and sell more jerseys than half the league combined. And they got her in the ad like an extra in the background of a movie. Look, if you put an A'ja Wilson jersey and a Caitlin Clark jersey side by side, one of them is going to be collecting dust, and the other one is going to sell out so fast that Nike's website is going to crash. And let's not act like this is just an A'ja Wilson thing, nah. Not compare Caitlin's sales to any WNBA player. There's a reason why Fever tickets are suddenly getting sold at Super Bowl ticket prices. Spoiler alert. Wearing number 22 in Indiana is the reason why people are talking about the WNBA as if it were an event.
So this has been called the biggest marketing fumble in history. And I mentioned in a previous video, I did work for marketing agencies, and I worked for an agency where Nike was our client. So I know how on top of things that Nike is. And this is one of those things that I personally just did not understand, because the excuse was that it takes all this time. And I do understand how it takes time, but LeBron James, he had his shoe in his rookie year. Steph Curry with Under Armour, he had his shoe, I think, within a year. So I'm not sure what the difference is.
However, Nike is in the back room thinking, Well, let's see if we should keep pushing the same people who have been on our payroll for years, or should we promote the player who is literally bringing the most eyes to the league? This is the same Nike that produced the jerseys for a 2K. Nike really believes they're clever with the whole, "Oh, we support the WNBA narrative" thing, but in reality, you support the WNBA players who fit your agenda. You know what? Nike reminds me of that teacher at school who claims they don't have favorites, but obviously lets some kids get away with everything while giving others detention for blinking too loud. Caitlyn's like some virtual dude named Jamal Bucks had a signature jersey before the most marketable player in women's basketball history. If Nike were a restaurant, you would be served a 5-star meal. But if Caitlin Clark entered, they would give her a Lunchable and tell her to be thankful. Let's quickly discuss jersey sales. The website would crash, bots would be fighting at checkout, and some guy in his mom's basement would be selling them on eBay for $600 each if Nike dropped a Caitlin Clark jersey right now. In the meantime, they could give away some of these other jerseys for free, and people would still say, "No, I'm fine. I'll take a Caitlin Clark one though."